I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fam's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
You party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one chief rock Knicks universe, your main man Uncle Freezy, and welcome to the premiere Knicks in the Nighttime show. What's good? Cowboy Bob is in the building. Salute. Cowboy Bob must have hit the number or something, everybody. Cowboy Bob hit the number. Cowboy Bob must hit the Colombian lottery or something. That's what's happening. That's what's going on out here in these streets. Cowboy, salute to Cowboy Bob. Andios is in the building. The son of the legend Kerry Cox is in the building. Salute, salute. Yo, Coach is in the building. Salute. Coach, what's good, man? What's good, everybody? Let me see here. Them, okay. All right. Rome Fall Rock is in the building. Salute, salute, salute. Yeah, man. Salute, salute. Salute, everybody. So the Knicks made another move today. They signed Chuma Okeke to an Exhibit 10 deal. In my opinion, a Chuma Okeke deal is so what? I like Chuma Okeke, by the way. I like him. Coach is in the building, cut off shirt, showing the muscles. What's good, boss man? Flexing on Instagram, straight flexing.
Oh man, I just realized I got a stain on my shirt.
Oh man.
Oops.
Oops, I did it again. Yeah, salute everybody. Salute everybody coming through. Salute everybody that's watching and hadn't commented. We hadn't forgotten about y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. Rocking with the number one chief rocking Knicks universe. Rocking with the head coach of Lawrence Tears. Coach Malpica's in the building. Salute. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So coach, I got a lot of stuff to talk about real quick. Just want to get your input since you here rocking, man, if you don't mind.
Yeah, man. What's up?
I want to talk about Precious just real quick. I know this is an unpopular take, but I think Precious Achiuwa is the answer to our backup center minutes. And I know that the popular opinion is that the Knicks need a 7-footer to start in front of Mitch so that we can keep Mitchell Robinson healthy. I think that's the popular opinion. Like, go get a starting 7-footer and bring Mitch off the bench. Mitch is not a starting center anymore. I think that's the prevailing thought of a lot of Knicks fans. It's not mine. Right? Mine is start Mitch, bring Precious off the bench, bring along Skopintsev and Hukporty slowly integrate them into this thing. And then at the trade deadline or January, see how far you've gotten. Eddie C in the place to be. What's good, Eddie C?
Yo, what's good?
What's up, Ed?
What's up,
good?
man?
Long time, brother. Good to see
Yeah,
you.
man.
How you doing, bro?
Everything good, man.
Okay.
I'm just listening to Uncle Freeze talking about what we need at the center position. So I just came in and chime in.
Yeah, hey, bro. What you told me 2.5 years ago, I don't know if you understand my stance on it or not. Because when we get in conversations, generally it's a full panel, and I never get to speak to you like one-on-one. But when you said 2.5 years ago that you don't value, or at that time, you didn't value the center position at that time, I think I've taken that thought and expanded it to where we are right now.
Right.
Like, I don't think you need 3 7-foot centers all making $15 million a year plus. I don't feel like we should exist in that world.
How much? Okay. Dallas Mavericks. The kid Lively, he's a lottery pick, right? But
Yeah.
what could he be making? Like 6 something, maybe 7 mil?
Yeah, in that range. Yeah.
Gafford.
About 18 for between 15 and 18 million, something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
But I think his contract is up next year.
Okay.
Maxi Kleber, about 6.
Something like that. Yeah, in that range. Yeah.
And Dwight Powell around 4.
Okay.
A perfect scenario.
Okay.
Minimum contracts for the center position. If somebody gets hurt, Maxi Kleber got hurt during the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, they had if they wouldn't have traded for Gafford, they were looking at Dwight Powell, which would have been. I mean, they didn't make it where they wanted to, I guess. But what I'm trying to say is that's basically the route where it has to be around.
Yeah, but if you look at Minnesota, look how much they're paying Gobert, Towns, and Nas Reed.
A lot.
And Dallas made it farther.
No, Minnesota made the championship. Oh no, they lost.
Yeah, they lost to Dallas.
But
yeah.
Okay, so I put
they're still paying a lot more than we are for centers.
I gave you that tweet, and it's because I've been looking at him for what, a year and a half now.
2 years, bro. Since 2.5 years since Orlando traded him to Chicago. That's when the conversation started. Remember when he was available?
Okay.
Terrence Ross, Evan Fournier. Remember when Orlando had the fire sale?
Mm-hmm.
That's when our conversation started. 2021.
He has this year and then 1 more year left.
Okay.
You talking about Vucevic?
Yeah.
Vucevic.
Yeah.
If Vucevic comes on, especially now after making the trade for Macau, I think that's obviously losing Isaiah Hartenstein, right? But now that we know what we know about Isaiah Hartenstein, I think Vooch is the prime player. I'm not saying that the Knicks are going to go for him. I don't know if they can. I don't know how the money works because, I mean, I have to look into something like that. I'm not really looking into something like that. But the player as is.
I have somebody that can answer that question for you. Fritz Alcindor is in the building. Salute.
All right.
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
Before we go down that rabbit hole, other people, all that stuff. I just want before because I'm old and I don't want to forget the point I wanted to make. Like off what you were talking about with Precious. It's not that I don't mind. It's not that I mind Precious having some fill-in role off the bench. I'm more worried about what happens if Mitch gets hurt situation because that's it's the Mitch insurance part of it. Because if he gets hurt, then we're counting on small ball lineup or having Precious start and Sims or one of the young guys got to be the backup. Now I'm not saying we can still win games. We've still got a lot of talent to win, but that's the part that worries me. It's not having Precious as a backup because I think a rotation of him coming in. Because if you think about it, a lot of the maybe one of these nights, maybe tonight, I don't know. You can go through the other teams' rosters of who they use when their best big guy, when their five comes out of the game. We really match up because we know that OG can pretty much defend every human being in the league.
Okay.
I mean, granted, Embiid was hurt, but he was D'ing up Embiid. I mean, would you say he's the alpha 5 as far as offense goes in this league? If he can defend him, then maybe we can get away with it. But I don't think it's a long-term thing. Although at times, pause. At times, Precious does play a little longer than he is because he does have some
Pause.
pause. He does have a long wingspan, and he jumps pretty good. So I don't know. I still think him waiving his no trade clause and that means something. Like there's something else brewing still. Like I wouldn't be disappointed if nothing else happened, but I wouldn't be surprised, if something does happen. I'll be happy if something does happen.
I mean, and if something does happen, it has to be mid-season. Like, and it has to be.
Wait, when you say mid-season, do you mean exactly in the middle, or do you mean we play a handful of games to see what we have and then make a move if we're satisfied or not?
Well, I'm looking at Vooch. I'm looking at Vooch specifically. If we're gonna get one of those centers that are worth $20 million, Vooch, Capella, etc. We need the precious six million to get there, right? And if we don't want to get off Mitch, so I just basically did it in my head. Jericho Sims is 2. Achua is 6, so that's 8. Jericho Sims is 2, so that's 10. Payne is 3.3. That's 13.3. Deuce is 4. 17.3. What's the guy's name that we just got? Bates Diop.
Yeah.
That's another 2 point something. So it's getting pretty close to that. Plus, obviously, some picks and some second rounders.
Yeah, but Eddie C, why would Chicago take 5 players for Vucevic? And I'm just asking
Mm-hmm.
to follow the conversation, right? Why would they take 5 players for Vucevic, and then what would the Knicks do for those 4 empty roster spots?
Well, the 5 players would be just to make the money work. A player like Deuce, somebody they might like, maybe Jericho Sims, somebody that they can, put in as the backup center. Obviously Diop and the other Precious Achua is a power forward that they can use /4-5.
Right.
So that's around 3 players that they can use.
Why wouldn't you
Obviously, what they're looking for will probably be the bunch of set.
Why wouldn't you just do Josh Hart and Deuce for Vucevic? Fritz, the money works on that, right? Josh Hart at 19 mil, Deuce at 4 mil, and then you have to send out more money than you take in, right?
Kind of. Right now,
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're 100% right. And Josh Hart does fill the Alex Caruso role. It would just hurt to give up Josh Hart, right?
Yeah, I don't want to give up Josh or Deuce. I don't. But if we're just talking about making the money work in a money work type scenario, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't want to give up Josh Hart, bro, or Deuce.
No, but I understand where you're coming from, man. That's what it would be.
Right.
Yeah.
But it does solve a need. I'm sorry, go ahead, Fritz.
No, and just in a practical situation, mid-season, like 4-for-1, 3-for-1 doesn't work because they can't keep those players. They got to cut them.
Yeah.
So you're cutting players, and then they have to pay them anyway.
And they got to pay them anyway. Or they have to cut guys on their roster who they would have to cut. So now you're looking at maybe Dalen Terry, maybe some of their back end of the roster guys. Maybe you know what would work for us? Well, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't work for us. I'm sorry. I should let Fritz handle that.
Okay. I know everybody's trying to dance around it, but basically, if the Knicks are looking at those guys, Mitch got to go. So it's not practical without Mitch. So if you're talking Vucevic or you talking what's his name from Atlanta, you're talking Mitch leading.
Like I don't think we talk about it enough. That any trade that's going to happen, like why else would both sides agree? Precious Achua would have the no trade clause. Like, why would what? There's no other reason.
No, okay. The practical, then I think it was just part of the deal because no trade clause just came with the deal.
Yeah,
and he just waived it.
That's automatic.
So he knew. They just said, "Hey, we're going to give you this, but you're going to have to waive it."
A concession, basically.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna instead of paying you $4 million, we're gonna pay you $6 million.
Because
for that extra $2 million, you got to move that no trade clause.
I still, because I've talked about this all off season, and I talked about it during the season when Randle was hurt. But now that Randle's back and Precious is back, it saves. It does what I wanted, but we do need. I think because I don't want OG to be the backup 4 as well, even though he can play it. Because when we're giving Randle a break, we need to give OG that same amount of break.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't be running OG into the ground. This guy's already. I mean, I hate to say it, but we want to keep him at about 32 minutes a game till the playoffs. Keep him healthy because we need that dude. So for me, I love having Precious for that reason, for backing up Randle, really. And then, for now, backing up the 5. But I still think we need to pick up a 5 and still keep Precious, not use Precious to get it. Because we have an influx of other positions that we could trade. Like, I'm sorry, Wiz, I know you're here. But we talk about who's expendable. Campaign, McBride, one of the young ones, whatever it takes. Because
But now that Freezy has planted that seed in my brain, can we say that after Adam Mikal Bridges is Josh Hart expendable?
I don't want to admit to that, bro. But
But
basically, based off of what you were saying, based off of you doing the math, you know what I'm saying? I think it would take but I don't want to, but I understand what you're saying, ADC. But I just want to take a step back just really quick. I don't want to trade Josh Hart and Deuce under any circumstance. I love what they bring to the team. But in that exercise that you mentioned where you have to match dollar for dollar in order to fill a position of need, I think that may be one of the unfortunate things that we may have to consider.
can you explain to me how you lump those two in the same tier to me?
Me?
Yes.
With-
How is McBride and Hart equally unmovable?
Me?
Yes.
I didn't say they were unmovable. I said I don't want to see them go. I'm making it an emotional stance. I'm not making a practical stance.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
man, like you just open a can of worms there because once you add Vucevic to Mitchell Robinson, right? You kind of have that same Isaiah Hartenstein Mitchell Robinson effect. And in essence, you kind of have that team that with OG and Julius had that January run. With Mikal Bridges on the team now, Josh Hart isn't as important. We actually bettered that position. So now if we add Vucevic into that fold and have to get rid of Josh Hart because of that, I think emotionally it's a dagger, but it's something that I have to look into because I want to win a chip.
Yeah, I don't think he's on the table. But
That dude is more. Listen, you're talking about Josh Hart at this point being on the Knicks is like Greg Maddux had his own catcher for the Braves. Like Josh Hart, I'm sorry, that dude is tied to Brunson. Period.
Mhm.
Like that he's always gonna be Brunson's exception, unless he's just shit in the bed. Well, sorry for my French. I've been watching a lot of Paris Olympics, but he's and the other reason why I think he's untouchable. Here's the thing about guys like him. He's the perfect bench guy. So is DiVincenzo, because they're both flexible. Like they can be put in with different kinds of guys, and they can morph to what the rest of the guys are that are in the lineup with. They're glue guys. They're crack fillers. So to me,
Yeah, it's man, that's tough, bro. Like to be honest with you, that's tough, man. It's tough because I get exactly everything that you're saying, coach.
Yeah.
I get everything, right? But inevitably we know that Mitch is gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
And if we don't make a move, and I'm not saying that we won't make a move within the margins because the Knicks are super smart. Like they'll make a move within the margins that'll exceed expectations, and like I've never put anything past them.
Right. Like,
but when inevitably Mitch gets hurt, that position is going to be very, very thin.
And see exactly.
On the other side of the coin, the 3-4 position for the Knicks right now is super solid with those two guys. Even now, even if we lose OG, like we know Mikal, that sucker, barring a twisted ankle, that sucker's gonna play.
Mm-hmm. And
So
Precious, his flexibility too, because he can defend a lot of different kind of guys.
1 through 4, and OG can defend 2 through 5. Yeah, I mean it's like we never had a defensive duo like that. Like that's those two are problems, bro. Like we were talking about this on a stream. I think it was with Ron. I was talking about it on a stream with Ron, and we were talking about who is Julius Randle. Like we were going to try to put Randle at the 5, and somebody was I was saying that our best team is with Randle at the 5. And somebody was debating me, and I said at the end of the day, who do you want guarding Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown?
Bridges and OG.
So then who are we going to put on? You know what I'm saying? So then debate was
Randle or Precious is going to go out on the perimeter.
What is going to be playing Porzingis.
Yeah.
Right. And the debate was no, that we need to have Mitchell Robinson in there. I said at the end of the day, when the ish hits the fan, there's 3 minutes left, and Boston is up by 3. We need to have that team out there.
Yeah, free throw shooters too.
Yeah, free throws and just flexibility. Because OG can probably guard Porzingis. Randle can probably guard Jason Tatum in spurts. So it's just flexibility. Where's Josh Hart going to play?
Here's the thing, that there's 2 different closing lineups. There's actually 3. There's the closing lineup when we have a lead and we want to secure the lead and just kind of close out the game defensively. I think that's when Hart's playing instead of Dante. And then Mitch is playing, if we need more defensive stops or whatever, depending on the team we play. But if we're having to come back, we're down 5, down 6, 7, Dante's going to be in there with Randle and, that lineup with Randle and all that, playing at 5. That's what I foresee. But I think we're going to have the luxury because, we've always seen Tibbs, like the hot hand situation. So I'm thinking just the flow of the game, whoever the hot hand is, let them cook, let them stay in. And then we'll see who's humble enough and selfless enough to let that happen on the team and take a back seat to it.
Yeah, I think we're probably overthinking that part of it too, right? Because we're talking about the 3-minute situation. What about the other 45 minutes of the game? That's where Josh Hart fits in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Josh Hart to have value. The other because even if the late game situation calls for lineup flexibility, and they will, maybe Josh Hart will play, maybe he won't. Right? It depends. It depends on, or like Coach said, are you up? Are you down? Are you up by a lot? Are you down by a lot? Is the other team hot? Are you in foul trouble? Is somebody injured? Right? Who's the hot hand for your team? Right? Is Mitchell Robinson killing the other team on the boards? Right? Because defensive stops, the defense doesn't stop until you get the rebound or it's a made shot. Right? So is Mitchell Robinson having one of his 17 rebound games? There are a lot of things that go into it. But Fritz, this is one of the things that I want to mention though. If the Knicks are or if Knicks fans are disconcerted about a borderline starting center, then maybe it's time for a change. Right? Because right now, Mitch is a borderline starter. Like if we had Hartenstein, Eddie C, if we had Hartenstein right now, Mitch healthy, Hartenstein healthy, who do you think is the starter? Coach, who you think is the starter? Mitch healthy, Hartenstein healthy. Who's the starting center?
It's IR.
It's Hartenstein, right? So Mitch is a borderline. Mitch is a borderline starter. And if Knicks fans are this concerned about a guy that might be a borderline, a fringe starter, then maybe it's time to upgrade. Now, here's the thing. I don't think the front office thinks like we think.
Oh.
I think the front office values Mitchell Robinson. I think they feel like if they can keep Mitch healthy, Mitch is a difference maker. And I think for that reason, that's the reason why they brought the guy in from Dallas, the health guru guy. I think that's the reason why they brought him in from Dallas. And I also think by bringing back Precious Achiuwa, that they're confident going into the season with Mitch and Precious.
Well, here's the thing. Like, just because I think iHeart would start, it doesn't mean league wide that makes Mitch Robinson a borderline starter. I mean, just for this team with that player on the roster, because iHeart technically, whether a couple of the fans, supposed fans we have here that say iHeart isn't that good, I'm sorry, he's a top 10 center in this league, skill set wise, what he presents. His analytics since he's been in the league prove it. So he's a top 10, and that's me being conservative. Technically, he's ranked higher than that. And the Thunder paid him accordingly. So with him on the roster, that's, not to knock Mitch, but Mitch would start on half the teams in this league at least. Probably more if we went down the line and really looked. The only thing that's chipped away for me with Mitch is just his brittle lower leg. I would value him a lot more, and I would trust him more. When he's healthy, if you can guarantee me Mitch is not going to get hurt, I'm okay. Let's ride with it. But I can't deal with this maybe crap no more with him, man. Just can't. And if OG gets hurt again this year, I'm gonna start saying the same crap about him too. I love me some OG, trust me. So I don't know, man. Like, so, and that's you've alluded to this before in a lot of broadcasts these last couple weeks. When we're criticizing or saying whatever about Mitch, it don't mean we don't value Mitch. It don't mean we don't want Mitch. It don't mean we don't like Mitch. We're just being realistic with what our opinion is of what he presents to this team. I think a healthy Mitchell Robinson makes us best starting lineup in the league to me. It really is. I just think we are right now. Maybe technically on paper, starting lineup wise, if Porzingis is healthy, maybe Boston has something to say about it because they're the champs. But our bench is better than theirs. So, to me, the only pause and breaking I'm doing on Mitch is because his being injury prone. And that's the only thing that presents hesitation for me of betting on him and being all in.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know. Then you got guys in chat who think one guy made the defense. That's why we lost to the Pacers because of Hartenstein. It's hilarious.
So Fritz, what are you thinking? What are you thinking about Mitch being a fringe starter?
Nah, he's a good starter when he plays. Yeah, I'm just thinking that the Knicks may trade him. But yeah, I think the Knicks may trade him. Not that they don't like him. I was kind of thinking today. Yeah, because I had a live stream today, and I had kind of had.
I missed it. I didn't even get the alert, bro.
I had it real quick, and then I had like technical difficulties, so I had to make a second live stream. So yeah, I have a crazy theory about what's going on. But
can you share it, or are you saving the content for your channel?
No, I'm not saving it. Okay. So Knicks and Randle, was it Begley said they're kind of apart? Like they ain't gonna agree, like right now. So I mean, what I can see is Randle not sacrificing the money. Like he sacrificed 2 times. And okay, I look at it like this. I'm gonna look at like it's an employee. If the Knicks had the chance to get Giannis, and if we got Giannis, we would be in the second apron. Do you think the Knicks would do it? Like they would just have to blow a ridiculous amount of money, but you get Giannis. You think the Knicks would do it?
No,
I think they would. I think the Knicks don't value their own. So I don't think he's sacrificing. I think maybe he's betting on himself and hoping, okay, if I come through and I impress and I'm all NBA, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that lesser contract. I want the real contract. You can go over second apron if you want. Because you would do it for another. You would do it for another player. You would do it if it was someone if it was Zion, they would do it. If it was Giannis, they would do it. If it was another name, they would do it. And I think what the Knicks are going to try to do is cut some corners. Okay, maybe I can't give him $50 million a year, but if I cut back, like where Mitch is, Mitch makes 14 million. If I can cut Mitch out, I can find another 10 million. If I start cutting some corners, I might not be able to get him 50, but I might be able to get him 43. I might be able to get him 45. And so that's where I kind of think where we're heading, where the Knicks are trying to salvage.
The thing is, I don't understand where everyone is assuming and seeing and conjuring up this so-called division or lack of
not the vision.
Like he took less when the team was crap. Why now that he's older and is getting hungrier for team success, I'm assuming,
and closer to a
But-
championship.
closer to a championship, why now would he decide to be selfish?
I know I sacrificed twice. I'm just kind of like, if I sacrifice twice, and we're talking about money, like if it's only money,
What's keeping the Knicks on? What's the date again? August what? 5th or 6th?
August 3rd. See, there's a
August 3rd.
contract that the Knicks can offer. The contract they can offer on the 3rd isn't the same contract they can offer next year.
Right.
So I don't think the one on the 3rd interests him. I think he wants something in between, over that, in between, something more like what's next year.
My thing is this. For some reason, we have a pocket of fans, an even bigger pocket of morons in the media
Mhm.
who think that Julius Randle is still the thumbs down, knock over the friggin' laptop, pouting guy that isn't happy to be on a team with all these other good players. Like, because it's going to cut into his action. Did we not see? Did anyone even watch the games of how happy and good they were playing together? Am I the only one that saw this? I mean, have you seen this guy on like podcasts talking with them? I mean, this is all kumbaya family zone, bro. This dude's home.
I know.
The Knicks
I know.
have shown
We're
nothing,
family, but
the Knicks have shown nothing but support. If they were going
I
to
know.
trade Randall, they would have traded him already when it was a lot worse than they could have got when we really needed stuff before.
no, I think it's just business. I think it's business. Like, if he wants to get paid what he's worth. What's wrong with getting paid what you're worth?
No,
I may love my job, and if I'm getting paid under what my position pays, I'd be upset.
So let me add this too. So where
and
was
I'm
the
not
term-
saying I don't want to pay Randall.
hold up, coach. Let me just say this real quick. Not to cut you off. I just want to add this because it's pertinent. It's pertinent for this last statement, right? So where was this argument for getting paid what you're worth when Jalen Brunson was about to sign his extension?
Oh no, I said the same thing too. I said I'm not sure why he did it.
So if Jalen Brunson wouldn't have signed the extension, will we be talking about trading Jalen Brunson right now?
They would probably have to. They would be in a situation where everybody couldn't stay.
Okay.
Everybody couldn't stay. Maybe Mikal Bridges doesn't happen. Like you can't expend yourself in that way.
Okay.
Salute, Dre.
Hey, what's up, boss?
Hey, what's up, Dre?
I think we undervalue or underestimate how much these dudes all talk to each other. Is my thing. Like, and that's including Leon Rose with the players. You don't talk to media, but I guarantee he talks to players. They got something brewing, dude. I'm telling you.
I
It's
think
going to be another situation of like, what the hell is going on?
I think Randall means more to the Knicks than he means to any other team. To
Mm-hmm.
be absolutely honest with you, and like if he went to free agency, hypothetically speaking, and he's looking for a deal that starts with a number 2, post 30, he's probably not gonna get it. To be absolutely frank,
Because Brandon
especially coming
Ingram
off
type
of
thing. Yeah.
yeah, like a similar to Brandon Ingram type thing, but it's even it's even worse because Brandon Ingram is like 27 in the smack dab in the middle of his prime, not getting the extension, whereas Randall is basically exiting his prime. He's still going to be an effective player, but your prime is before you're 30. To be absolutely
What?
honest, before you're 30,
I'm
that's when
sorry. I disagree.
your prime can start at age 26,
Hey,
27, 28. You can be a highly effective player past that time, but when you have 2 season-ending injuries and you had to get surgery on them and you're turning 30 by the time you have to sign your next deal, teams will leverage that against you no matter what we say, no matter what. Like even his own organization might leverage it against him. So
Hmm.
it'll be like one of those things where it'll be like, Randall, if you think you can get a contract that starts with a 2, as in 200 million, by all means go out and seek it. I'm almost pretty sure no team would give him that
you don't
type of
think that? You
money.
don't think Mark Cuban will pay him $200 million?
No,
No. Especially in
Yeah,
his money.
Mark Cuban's not a
he's
decision
not
maker
there
anymore.
anymore. He left.
Yeah.
But
Whoa,
Mhm.
Alice.
nah, no.
Hey,
Like
and coach,
it,
I think it's Randall slander.
I don't
It
think it's
is.
slander. It's just like
And
I think
I didn't
Brandon.
say you, Dre. I didn't say
Okay.
you. I said I think it is.
Oh, okay. Got you.
I said I think it is. I think it's Randall slander because here's the thing. We legit sitting here like talking about a dude that's accomplished in a city
Yep.
that's difficult to accomplish stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Jeremy Grant is sitting on a $200 million, $40 million per year contract. Jeremy Grant, right? Zach LaVine is sitting on that bread right now. And to think that a team, any team out of the 30 wouldn't pay Randall, yeah, we
Jeremy
just don't.
Grant makes like 32 million a year.
Yeah, oh, okay, 30, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so
But
I
the front
think
with a
it,
but they're paying him 32 and they're also paying DeAndre Ayton, right? So to think that a team won't pay a multiple time all-star that's a difference maker in a difficult market is beyond bizarre in my opinion.
well, I'll say
But
this: if it was the
but
past CBA, yes, but this new CBA, no.
no, but it's not that they wouldn't pay it. Is that maybe he's taking it as the Knicks not appreciating him. Like he legit sacrificed. Like where is the thank me state? Like when do you get to that point where
Yeah.
you know what, you done good, like here, like
You
What do you
might be
mean?
saying it
The
might
Knicks
be
are
a
going to
Clay,
offer.
it might
The
be a
Knicks are
Clay
going to offer
Thompson
him the most
situation.
he can get on the extension he can get.
It might be
I'm
a Clay Thompson
So
situation
it's
where
not going to be the Knicks not extending it. It's going to be Randall.
Yeah, and the other thing too is the Kobe contracts that y'all are mentioning. Those contracts go to dudes that have already won a championship with their team. That's when you give those out. You don't give those out before because you're trying to climb the mountain.
yeah, but I don't think I'm we're also people are also assuming that the Knicks they offer the entire amount he's eligible for this time
like
around.
they could
That's the
for,
assumption.
for all we know, they could be offering Randall 4 years, 160, take it or leave it. Not even his full max, for all we know.
Yeah.
The assertion is
Yeah.
we're offering his full max, but Brunson got his full max extension, but
Yeah,
we
they
don't we don't
offered
know.
everybody their full max so far. Why wouldn't they
Yeah, but
offer him?
Brunson's full max is not the same dollar figure that Randall's full max is.
I understand.
Randall's is $30 million more.
Well, it should be more because he's a two-time All NBA. He's taken us to the
It,
playoffs more times than Brunson has.
it's more because of the money he's
Years.
extending off of.
Not saying he's better.
No, 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 I understand. I understand that completely. But it's one of those things where the 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 effect is just so punitive when you pay a guy a certain figure, especially in this market, especially the way the CBA is. It's why teams don't even want to touch a guy like Zach Levine, however talented he is, because he makes X amount of money and he's not X talent of player. So it's like, how restrictive are you willing to be with a guy that's not X, Y, and Z on a max deal? It's why, like, it might be hard to move Carl Towns' contract unless it's a team that really really wants him, like the Knicks. But if you're asking around the league, teams are not knocking down the Timberwolves' door to ask for Carl Towns' contract. Just to be absolutely honest with you,
Nope.
so it's so punitive taking on a figure in this landscape is just too difficult to take on a figure. That's why when Brandon Ingram is asking for max money and they don't want to give him it, it's not that they don't value Brandon Ingram or they don't think he's a very very good player. It's the fact that, okay, if we're trying to win a championship, we can't have a guy that makes $50 million a year and he doesn't fit around Zion and DeJounte Murray perfectly. Like, they need to find a synergy, and you have to. If you would pay premium for it, then cool. That's the reason why we paid premium for Mikal Bridges, because his skill set is synergistic. Like, you can plug him in, and he'll fit on damn near any team in the league, especially ours at this current juncture. So we overpaid, not even just for the Villanova. His actual skill set, his two-way ability, we overpaid for that. Just like we overpaid for OG. It's you have to think about how things fit. And I know Randall fits perfectly, but it has to be from a contract and basketball point of view at the same time. Before, you could just ignore everything and just give guys the max and just live with it. Now you have to think about who you give your maxes to, because the damages won't be seen immediately, but it'll kill you in 3 or 4 years when you're two times over the second apron and they take your first round pick and they drop it to the end of the draft because you gave a guy a max that nobody wants and nobody's willing to take. It's just it's like mind-numbingly difficult, and I feel like that's why guys like Brock Aller get paid the big bucks to do all that boring number stuff to figure out a way to put us in a position to be successful for 6 or 7 or 8 years without tossing draft picks away or tossing our own draft picks away.
Here's the other thing. The thing that I'm not saying it worries me. The other safety net for Randall of not signing the extension is if he's worried about not signing it and then maybe getting traded, he's going to get that 15% boost too.
If Randall was smart, if we were to offer him an extension, he's not accepting it until like the 7th. So we can't actually trade him in the middle of the year. That's what he did the last time. He signed his extension like a little bit later. So the 6 month stipulation where you can't trade a guy, we couldn't trade him at the trade deadline when we gave him that last extension. So if he does decide to take one, it'll be similar to the Laurie Markkinen situation where he signs at day 7 of August and they can't, and it'll be one day out, 6 months away and one day out of the trade deadline.
Yeah,
But
and the thing is that as a fan base, we can't look into it too much. Where if he doesn't sign it, you can't just see that as a negative thing.
No, you can't.
It's like a bunch but everyone's going to be saying.
I
So
think
all the Randle haters are.
I think it's one of those things with Randall where it might be beneficial for him to even test the market, because even if he wants to be back here, he can go get a contract offer from another team and be like, "Yo, this team wants me for this. I can come back for like 190. They offered me 200 because I had a great year, but I'll come back for 190 for y'all." But it's one of those things where he may want to test the market and see his value. And I think there's no better time for him to even do that. When you have a team full of shooters, full of spacers, he'll have a ample opportunity to run up his statistics, well, and be a playmaker, shoot a high percentage. It's a reasonable gamble. Like, as a player, just looking at it from the outside, it's a reasonable gamble for him to do it. I understand it, but I would understand like him probably playing out the year, and if he wants to be back, he'll probably be back, and it's probably already communicated. He did come back to CAA. That wasn't by mistake. So
Mhm.
even though it was more so his agent, his particular agent left, and he followed his agent, and then his agent came back, and he followed his own agent. So I think it would be beneficial. Like, if Randall, hypothetically speaking, if Randall came out this year, averaged about 22, 23 points per game, but he shot 54% from the field with 6 assists and 10 rebounds, that's something you can take to the market and be like, "Yo, I did X, Y, and Z with a good team, and they were contenders, and we went to a conference finals. Somebody should be out there willing to give me $200 million." At least
Mhm.
that's what he's probably thinking.
Yeah.
But if he takes the extension, it'll be like, "I don't even want to take that risk. Let me just lock in this money." But that would mean that the Knicks offered him, and we don't know if we even offered him a max. So
Yeah.
it feels like loyalty only matters, but so much. It's unfortunate when we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. What does loyalty even mean at that point?
How much money has Julius Randle made already in his career? What's his career earnings up to?
Definitely over 100 million, probably 150 million, somewhere in that range. If I had to guess, because he had a high lottery
5
contract.
years. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So, and then he had the 60 million, then he extended off of that.
Skechers, you got the Skechers deal now too.
That man is in
I
on
thought
a,
you were talking. I thought you were talking about NBA contract money.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was wondering that too. That's what
Okay.
I was wondering first. But now,
Yeah,
Well,
I don't even think it's an issue, bro. I think the Randall possibly leaving thing is a fan thing. Like, I think that the content is probably getting low in Nick's universe. So we just talking about Julius Randle maybe leaving, right? And one of the, and how I know this to probably be accurate is because it's one of those issues that won't go away. Like with the fans are talking, it won't go away in the fan sense, because if we don't have anything to talk about, we can double back and talk about this, right?
mm,
But for instance, I think one of the things that Knicks fans should be talking about is, can Jalen Brunson stay healthy for the remainder of this contract? That'll put him at age 32 at the end of this
mm,
contract,
mm.
right?
Mhm.
And in a basketball sense, right? This has nothing to do with him slipping in the shower. This has nothing to do with a flagrant. This has to do with diminutive guards at this age starting to
Mhm.
rack up injuries. It's what
Yeah.
happens with short guards.
taking all those charges, getting knocked down when he drives to the lane.
Right. You remember Isaiah Thomas? Remember Isaiah Thomas was out in Boston walking like he was 80 years old. Remember he had the hip injury?
Mm.
The short Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah.
Well, the young
The
Isaiah
real
Thomas?
Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say I could push back on that to a certain point though.
Okay.
Chris Paul played at a really high level,
Hmm.
well into his mid to late 30s. Now he's slowing down, of course, but
Yeah,
he
but
played
he's
at a
not.
high level. Like what was he 36 when he went to the finals? Like
Yeah, but
that's
his athleticism, like he's
his
playing a lot
athleticism
smarter.
cratered, but his skill set and his
Yeah,
basketball IQ never went anywhere.
yeah.
But and then I
Look,
could say
look at the ages. Look at all the max players in the league right now. And look at their average age.
late
Are you
20s.
talking about? But coach, are you talking about the diminutive point guards? Or are you just talking about elite wing players?
I think
Just,
yeah.
just,
Uh,
just the
I'm
best players.
just want to make sure I follow.
No, what I'm
Do you
getting at,
consider? Oh, my fault. My
I
fault,
don't
Coach.
like Dre for some reason is like with the advances in training, diet, working out. Like 30 and 32 isn't what it used to be. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah. I was
guys are
gonna.
calling 32 old. It's not anymore.
I think
I mean,
guards, small
I,
guards usually fall off at like age 35,
yeah,
36 now, not
I'm not
31, 32.
expecting now guys like LeBron are setting crazy bars. You know, I'm not,
Do
he's
you
like a
consider
freak.
Steph Curry a small guard, Freezy?
No,
Nope.
no, I don't think Dame Lillard is a small guard.
Dame Lillard is like 6'1".
He's small.
He's not big.
Okay, but so what is Jalen Brunson compared to them then? Because I've seen these guys.
Jalen Brunson at most is like 1 inch shorter than Dame.
Nah, okay,
Yeah, but he built like a truck compared to that too.
yeah, nah, bro. Nah, bro.
I'll put it this way:
He's built like a fire hydrant.
Jalen Brunson's
Yeah.
game, his game is going to translate deeper to his career more than them guys. Like they had to change their game because their athleticism changed.
Yeah.
I'll say this: Kyle
Brunson
Lowry was effective up until his age 36 or 35 season.
and he
Then
was
he just
technically
got washed.
he was a late bloomer, dude. Technically.
Right. He was a late bloomer like Brunson. He was a late bloomer like Brunson. But that's not what I'm saying. Like I'm not talking about them playing at. I'm not saying that them playing NBA basketball. Right. I'm talking about max contract worthy.
Mhm.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I just want to be just make sure that I pluck the leaves off this and have it be clear. Like I think Jalen Brunson could probably play till he's 38, 39 if he want to.
He will.
But will he be elite
Effective.
level max player that at age 38? No. We shouldn't even be talking about that. What I'm talking about is the guys that do what Jalen Brunson does, like the Calvin Murphy type, Allen Iverson type, Michael Adams type guys that are, bro. We can say Jalen Brunson is 6'2", bro. I seen this dude, bro. I know what it's like being over 6 foot. I live it every day. Jalen
Brunson
Brunson
is 6 foot on a good day.
Jalen Brunson, yeah, we could, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Jalen Brunson is coach. You're 6 foot, right? You live it every day, right? Jalen Brunson and Coach to me don't look like they're the same height.
He's probably taller than me.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
I was gonna say though.
I mean, I've seen him like at the baseball game. And when he's around normal sized people, you can tell he's 6'1".
He's tall, right? He's tall, right?
He's tall for a human, but not
Right.
for an NBA player.
But bro, I was legit in Charlotte. I was probably 8 rows behind Cam Reddish, and I saw Emmanuel Quickly and Jalen Brunson talking together. And I think Emmanuel Quickly is at least 2 inches taller than Jalen Brunson.
I think he is too.
Probably.
At least.
And
But Freezy,
the only reason why he's that tall is because that big old dome.
That planet.
I was gonna say, Freezy, the guys you compared him to, they're like quick twitch athletes at their primes, though. Brunson ain't never gonna be quick twitch.
No.
Like he lives off of trickery, basically with footwork, pivots, head fakes, all of it. Like he has
That's why
some
he's gonna stick around.
athleticism, but he is ground based for the most part. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like be real with you, Allen Iverson right now might be more athletic than Jalen Brunson.
Right. But we know but what I'm saying, but what I'm getting, the point that I'm getting at is the narratives generally are truth based,
Right.
right? Like give you an example. Give an example. Bigs with lower leg injuries, right? Joel Embiid came into the league with lower leg injuries off rip. Remember, he only played 2.5 seasons. His first three, I mean, he missed 2.5 seasons his first 3 years, right?
Yep.
And from that day forward, Joel Embiid was at the risk of lower leg injuries. When he was healthy, he could be MVP. But for the most part, every year we had been thinking, when is Joel Embiid going to get hurt?
We still thinking that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Kristaps Porzingis, when he was drafted, Phil Jackson was like, he's too tall for basketball. Right. He might not make it. Every year we think about, when is Kristaps Porzingis going to get injured? It's just a part of it. I'm not saying that I dislike Jalen Brunson, because I like Jalen Brunson, but generally a spade is a spade, right? Diminutive guards generally take too much punishment on the NBA floor, and they generally don't have a long, drawn out career at their peak. Their peaks are generally shorter. That's why when Chris Paul was mentioned, every big moment that we saw Chris Paul in, we can remember Chris Paul walking off the floor injured.
Yep.
Yeah.
Coach, am I like doing fairy dust here, or is there something to it?
Oh, you're right. I mean,
I'll say
I think
this
it's-
though, Freezy. If
I think it's
Brunson is
kinda
on a
sick.
max contract at like if he signs an extension for a max deal on his age 32 season, that would probably mean we won a championship. Be an absolute
The Kobe contract.
yeah.
Then we start giving out the Kobe contracts. Yeah.
but
That would be mean
I
we
think-
won a championship. And at that point,
I
I,
think
don't
he
care
has it in
what
the
money
bag.
he makes.
I think he has it in the bag.
here's my
I think that's the arrangement. I think that's the arrangement. I take a cut now, and at 32, I'm upright. You giving me a max contract?
And
see, you gotta understand, like Brunson's time, these next few years, like if he had to do what he had to do last year, homeboy ain't making it past 34.
I know, but that contract is gonna be his though.
No, but what I'm getting at, I'm talking about his physically, but physically here. Like if he has to do what he did this past year again, every year for the next the rest of his contract,
Yeah.
man's gonna age a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But because he's got the help now, he's got the other talent, he's still gonna have the success and the results.
he'll have the moments where he can turn it on, but he won't have to turn it on the
He's not
entire
gonna have
game.
to. He's gonna be more efficient with it. And he's not gonna have to try as hard to get the same result. I mean, that
And,
goes a long way.
Yeah, and to Fritz's point, not very many players has a godfather that runs the organization they play for.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
like when we
think-
talk about
yeah, I think-
situations like him, he is the abnormal, and he is extremely unique in that. Right.
Yeah. I think it's in the bag. I think it's already arranged.
Right. That may be the case too, but I think one of the things that we also forget when we talk about the front of Julius Randle's contract, what we also need to consider is what the money available is going to be in year 2, 3, and 4 of Julius Randle's new contract. So while the first year may blow us away, like, wow, Randle doesn't a 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, the best statistical power forward to ever play for the Knicks, is making $43 million a year. He don't deserve it. And then in 2 years, Julius Randle might be the 60th, 70th highest paid player in the NBA.
Mhm.
These are the type things that why would we entertain a Randle out the door conversation when in year 2 of his deal he might be the 60th highest paid player in NBA, which would be in line with who he is with the Knicks, the first or second best player on a playoff team. Coach, does that not line up to you?
Are you talking
Oh,
about
yeah,
an
it does.
extension right now?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
just tired of the narrative of Knicks fans and Knicks brat
universe, bro. It's not just the
universe
fans, bro.
and the figureheads out there and the pundits who think we're chasing a dime in the background.
Coach, you calling me out?
No,
Oh, okay.
but
I'm about to say, damn,
here's
bro.
the thing. This is like when you're looking for a woman, right? You can either have a dime for a week, or you can marry a 7 or 8 for the rest of your life.
Can she cook?
She got good credit.
She can cook.
Uber Eats.
She does a little bit of everything. She lets you get online and talk Knicks with the boys and don't give you no crap.
Holy crap, bro. Sign me up,
She
bro.
washes your clothes for you when you need to. You know, washes other things. You know. And the thing is, like, people always want to talk about, oh, so-and-so's contract comes up, and the Giannis's and the Ja Morants and the Zions and all. Man, I'm tired of seeing it and hearing it.
Okay.
Them dudes ain't winning.
Hey man, look,
Giannis is done winning. I'm sorry.
Cavs ain't did nothing, and they extended damn near everyone on their team.
The Milwaukee Bucks are cooked. I mean,
It's because finding elite talent is difficult, bro.
I know they ran Giannis into the ground, bro. He can't even get a win with Greece.
Bro,
That man got hurt the last 2 postseasons.
That's why when Fritz asked me about a Giannis trade, bro, no disrespect to Fritz, but I find
I didn't say anything about Gian. I wasn't saying about Giannis. I'm saying if the situation was different and Giannis was available, then the Knicks would open the pocketbook. You know what I mean?
No, they wouldn't, bro.
No, Giannis said, "I want to be a New York Knicks
anymore." Not with what we have right now, because we can't afford them.
And just to what Fritz was saying, I think those days are done. Those are the days of future past, bro. Like the NBA front offices are not going to exist in that 2+1 scenario where in a year and a half you're back in this thing of, are you going to pay a megastar the max in a 2+1, but now he's 2 years older? I think the players have walked the dog. They legit have walked the dog, right? And I think ownership is tired of walking the dog. You can't build a consistent championship contender when in every year and a half you got to have extension talks, right? You don't know how to build your team. And if you look at the teams that stars have walked the dog, look at Giannis, look at LeBron, look at Kevin Durant, look at their teams. Right.
But at the same, all the teams you're talking about have new owners. All of them are like pretty much putting the money behind them, like not even thinking about it.
Why do they have new owners?
Other one cashed out.
Yeah, it takes a lot of money to buy it.
You want to know why those owners sold? Those guys are billionaires for a reason. You want to know why? Because they know when it's time to get out.
Right. Because
they know that those guys, you can't keep paying those guys and build a winning team.
You can't let them
walk the Suns owner was forced out because he's racist. So
Dre, the example I'm using is not the standard. Right now, okay. I'm looking at the Boston Celtics.
Okay, gotcha.
The reason why the Boston Celtics the ownership is looking to get out is not because they don't think Tatum and Brown's contracts are worth it, because at the end of the day, everybody's going to pay about the same amount of money anyway. All owners are going to pay a certain dollar amount, period. It depends on, do you assume debt? The assumption of debt when you pay tax bills and stuff is what separates owners. But
Operational
everybody,
costs.
yeah, everybody's going to pay 90% of the cap, bro. Everybody's going to pay it, right? But the assumption of debt is the reason why owners get out of the game, because you jump in. Like Mark Cuban bought the Mavs for what, 350 million, something like that, two something, right? And he sold them either this year or last year, one of the basically this NBA season, right, for an unfathomable amount of money, right? He sold them for an unfathomable amount of money, right? And so his assumption of debt was low because Dallas is generally not a tax team, right? Now, generally, they'll go over the cap, like most teams do, operate over the cap, so that you can get the over the cap benefits, slightly over, so that you can get your exceptions and all that stuff, right? But what he paid then versus what they're worth now is too much for that man to pass up, especially when you don't need a vetting process. When the person that bought the team is known for being one of the richest owners in the world. So the vetting, it's not like you vetting A-Rod or somebody like that, or it's not like you're vetting Aaron Aflalo, who is just jumped onto the radar with money, right? The casino people in Vegas. Those are the people that bought the Mavs. They want to build casinos in Dallas. That's the reason why they want the Mavs, right? So you already know they come from bread. That's easy. You go, oh, y'all got money? I got pockets. We can work together. That's like me and Coach. Like I go to Coach house. Coach will be like, yo, I got food. And I'll be like, well, I have a mouth. Easy. That's easy. Those two go together, bro. Right? So that's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted to mention. But the thing, though, what I wanted to say about the Giannis's, the Anthony Davises, the LeBrons, the Kevin Durant's, all those guys, it's difficult to build champions around them, because every 2 years you have to restart this. Will he sign? Will he won't? Will he make a demand? Will he won't? Right now, how many wing players are on the market to support this one guy? Right? Do you want to go down that path? No, the Knicks want to lock everybody in for a certain amount of time. This is the group that we're going to battle with. And then at the end of this window, we'll reassess everyone at the same time. Did we reach our goal? And that's including the coach. Tibbs has 1 year left, and he got a 3-year extension, right? That means over the next 4 years, he's under contract. These are the type things I'm saying about the Randle situation. I think we're looking for, I think we're chasing waterfalls. I think that's what it is with the Randle conversation. I think a more generalized conversation of the future of the Knicks flexibility, right, is will the Knicks be able to add anyone of substance after this core group gets locked in? And to me, that's a more intriguing thing to talk about for me. And I'm saying this personally. I understand everybody has their own opinion, right? Once you lock in Randle and Mikal Bridges, what other talented player can you add at that point?
For now?
Yeah.
Not much.
For this 4-year window.
No, you got to think. Okay,
Not much, but when
3 years from now, I'm sorry.
Well, I think go. My bad.
Yeah, so I kind of think they're going to try to get a young player in that they don't have to extend for 2 years. So somebody they don't have to pay for 2 years, and in 2 years you'll have the money. But you won't have the money now.
When's the new agreement?
I was gonna say
new cap.
When you pay these guys, they're still good basketball players.
Right.
So like it wouldn't be like you're giving them an albatross contract and they can't move him. It's not gonna be a Zach LaVine type situation.
Right.
Yeah.
So even if the players themselves are the asset, if you want to get off of a player and consolidate or get multiple younger players, then you can use them as a means to do that. Like it's not like we're gonna give, like hypothetically speaking, it's not like Julius Randle's gonna be making Jokic money. He's never gonna touch that type of figure.
No.
Whereas Zach LaVine was touching basically top of the league type money before the CBA, of course.
Right.
It's one of those things where, be absolutely honest, anybody we pay, and word out there is Mikel's going to take an extension. A lot of the guys that we're paying, they're probably not going to be making what they probably should be making on the open market or could be making on the open market. So when it's viewed that way, you can use the player themselves as an asset if you want to pivot or figure a way out. Like teams have pivoted off of worse contracts than whatever we give out to Randall.
Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the thing is, we have, with Josh Hart and Dante, what they're getting paid. I mean, we got a great value.
More Dante.
Dante especially. Way more.
Dante's not making nothing right now.
Josh's contract starts to,
I think he's at 18 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you look at our next, well, not counting, well, actually, if they do the extensions. So say Randall does do an extension. Does that replace his player option, or it starts after his player option year?
It just starts. It starts next summer. If he
Okay.
whatever, if he extends this right now, it'll start next summer. If he extends next summer, it starts next summer. It starts next summer, no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, hypothetically speaking, he could pick up his option.
He could extension. He could pick up an extension, but like
he could pick up his
practically,
option, then extend off of it. But it wouldn't make zero sense for him to do that.
Right. No, I was just because the money as is now. Okay. When I look at Boston, what they're paying their guys, like next year, they're paying $40 million more on their side on their roster than we are.
yeah, they have new owners. The new owners don't care for now because they're not really thinking about it.
So like
It's new to them. It's new to them. So
Who are you talking about?
Boston.
But yeah, it makes me feel like they're selling to like some Saudi guys or something.
they're locked into that salary because they got all their main guys except for
I think the current
stats
ownership
next year.
I was gonna say the
Everyone
current
else
ownership. Oh,
locked
go
up.
ahead, coach.
No, I'm saying
My bad.
everyone else, including Sam Hauser, is locked up for the next 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And because they're good players, they're probably going to trade one or two of them. Like Drew Holiday and Derek White are not going to last in the duration of their contracts on that.
Yeah, and in 2027, 28, Drew Holiday, is he still going to be worth $37 million?
No, because he'll be like 39 years old.
He's going to be traded by that.
Derek White, $33 million. He's going to be making that year.
Like one of those guys are going to be gone. There's the owner, the Celtics owner, with a current ownership right now said there's going to be like a transition. So they're going to slowly turn over the reins, but it's a multi-year thing. So before the team is completely sold off, it's going to take like 3 to 4 years before they completely turn everything over to the new owners.
Yeah.
So in the current moment, they're just running up that tab and letting the new owners deal with that $200 million, $400 million luxury tax.
Yeah, they're hoping
because they're paying $200 million in tax this year.
They're hoping Peyton Pritchard turns into something.
Yeah,
they extended him too last year.
Yeah, and so the thing is, by the time they get to that window Dre's talking about, they'll be paying 8.5 times the overage amount. Right now, I think they're paying 4.5 times, and it'll go up 1% every year that you go over. So you're talking about like during that time, way down the road, when they face that 7.5 times the overage amount, then they'll consider. You know what I'm saying? Because it depends. What if the Celtics only win one championship and then they go back to these disheartening losses? They may not even wait that long. They may turn over the roster sooner and just rebuild around Tatum and Brown. Like it may not be Drew Holiday. It may be Porzingis. It may be the Porzingis contract that they offload because he's not available. Right. And Porzingis, you never know. But the thing is being in a position to balance your books and win championships. Right. That's the key to it all. Balance your books and win championships.
It's Freezy. I was gonna say it's like balancing your books and striking for the opportunity when it arises.
Yeah.
You balance your books until you get that perfect opportunity and you don't miss out on it.
Right. You don't even think about the luxury tax in that number until you're a championship contender.
I'll be right back.
And that's what the Knicks are right now. Like the Knicks wasn't even thinking about that until right now. And they probably feel like they don't even want to do it now until this team proves that they can win a championship on the floor. Can they win the in-season tournament? Can they win the Eastern Conference championship? Can they something that they can point to and say, you know what? We put some work in. This is what we have to show for it. Because finishing second in your division and losing in the Eastern Conference Finals is not validation.
I was gonna say, Freezy, I think the window right now is like a 3/4 year window. There's gonna be smaller retoolings happening, but for the most part, like for instance, the Celtics had a window, but they had a slight retooling because they thought, okay, we need to make a move to get us over the top. They balanced their books in a way where they could make that move and get a Drew Holiday and then extend Drew Holiday. Right. There's going to be some retooling that happens over the next 3 to 4 years. We're not going to run back the same roster year over year. We might see a familiar 4 to 5 or 6 players, but like a lot of the guys or a few guys that might be top 4 or 5 guys in the rotation might be gone. Like one might be gone to find a better fit, hypothetically speaking. Besides Brunson, of course, probably Mikal too. But like one of the top 4 or 5 guys might be gone, just to see if we can retool and find a more balanced fit or a more ideal fit. Because just being real with you, the Celtics went to a finals. They lost in the conference finals. Yep. And they thought, yo, this is not it. We need to stack the deck even further. And they saw a perfect opportunity when Drew Holiday was made available, and they struck.
Yeah.
That's how we're probably going to have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And Fritz, you know what else too? I think we're so locked in on our displeasure for Randle. I think what happens is we lose sight of the fact that every 8 years, the NBA evolves into another type of basketball, right? Mm-hmm. Like right now, long, rangy, athletic players at every position is the wave, right? Like right now, you've seen the tallest guy you've ever seen in your life do guard stuff. We're in that era, right? Yeah. There's a point guard in Orlando that looks like he's like 6'7", 6'8", and is doing all the flashy stuff that 6'1" guys do. Right. The OKC has a power forward / center that can do small forward type stuff. I think we're in that era right now. I think we're going. Basically, what I'm getting at is a thing that we once thought was a novelty, the 3-point shot. is now a way of life. It's a baseline. If you can't shoot, you don't belong in the NBA. Period.
Mhm.
Like if you don't shoot threes, you're not a max contract guy. Dre, is that accurate? If you're not
Yeah,
a good 3-point shooter, you're
if
not a
you're
max contract.
if you're not like physically imposing and dominant, if you don't shoot X amount of threes at a particular volume, you're not valued as much. Like I was looking up, or I saw something about Brandon Ingram, right? He is one of the best mid-range shooters in the league, and he just shot 36% off threes. His elite mid-range shooting is worse on shots per, like, it's worse than his 3-point shooting, and he's not even an elite 3-point shooter. Like he
Right.
shot 48% on like self-created mid-range shots, which is 1.11, which is no 0.93 points per attempt or whatever.
Yeah.
And he shot 36% from three, which is 1.11. And analytically, it's like, why don't you take more threes? But that's just not his game.
Right.
And because of that, teams don't value him as much.
It's cost
Because
analysis.
yes,
It's cost analysis, right? Because his shots, because his shots per game in correlation with other people's shots per game, like say for instance, if he was that and he played on a team where everybody shot the three, it
he'd
wouldn't
be,
be as bad.
yeah, it would be ideal. It would be a
It'd be,
perfect fit.
yeah,
But they when they got DeJounte Murray
yeah,
and their best player is Zion,
yeah,
and they've struggled to find a spacing big.
yeah.
So now it's just like, why would we pay you that when we got all these other things to
And
address?
CJ is streaky. And CJ is streaky.
Yeah.
Like when you see CJ McCollum shoot 39% from three, it's 50%, 31%, 50%, 31%. It's not 39% all season long.
Yeah. That he just gets flaming, raging hot, and then he's just ice cold.
Yep.
So
For long stretches too.
like if you had an ideal team around Brandon Ingram, but that's where value comes into play, Freezy. If you need an ideal team, that's what makes it hard to pay a guy. Because the thing that's most important or viewed right now is portability.
Right.
Is your game gonna be your game no matter what, no matter who is
I
out there?
disagree.
Yeah, like is your game gonna, like, for instance, there's a reason why Mikal Bridges was highly sought after. Like teams are tossing multiple firsts for him because number one, his contract is very good, but number two, you quite literally could put Mikal Bridges on any team, and he would be Mikal Bridges. Like
Right.
he would give you exactly what you need out of him because there's no such thing as too much defense. There's no such thing as too much 3-point shooting in today's NBA. There's no such thing.
Right.
There can be an overlap in too many guys shooting mid-range jumpers, though.
Right.
There could be too many ball handlers on your team. there,
Right.
there could be too many cooks in the kitchen. But uh, uh, there's never too much shooting. There's never too much defense. When you're composed of those two type of traits, teams want you. Teams want you to plug and play.
Right.
Whereas a guy like Brandon Ingram, he's best with the ball in his hands. He's best in the mid range,
Right.
and not every team needs those two things. A lot of teams already have two creators. That's part of the reason why, like I say, Julius Randle matters more to us than a lot of other teams because he is the only other real true creator on his team besides Brunson, if you even want to call Brunson a creator.
Right.
So when he goes out in the open market, might be looking for a type of deal, and it's just like, how many teams has the luxury to give Randall high usage to be a creator in the mid post and a low post and not really be a 3-point shooter or a very, very good defender? That's where you run into like a conundrum where it's like, okay, Randall means a lot more to us, but on the open market, I don't know what he might mean. And this is the year for him to change those narratives, to bolster his own value, to change how
I
teams
don't
and
know. I don't
how
know
I
who
really
else.
view him.
I honestly don't know Outside, yeah, that's a New York narrative, bro.
Mm.
All the other people I talk to when I even say, I'm like, hey, like I talk to my cousin Jay. I'm like, Jay, what you think about Randall? He's like, yo, y'all trying to give us Duran for him? Y'all trying to get Duran? I'm like, no, we don't know. We're not giving y'all Julius Randle for Jalen Duran.
Mm-mm.
What world would we take a Jalen Duran for Julius Randle? That makes zero sense to us. Right,
But Freezy, I explained it.
because just hold
Okay,
on,
my fault.
because
Yeah.
even in a world where you feel like you can shuffle the deck chairs on the Knicks roster, right? Even if you feel like you could shuffle the chairs on the Knicks roster, if you send out Randall and get Jalen Duran, OG Anunoby was on a team where he could have been the man, and that team was trash. Mikal Bridges was on a team where he could have been the man, and that team was trash. Josh Hart was
Yep.
on a team where he could have been the man. Bro, these guys, they're not. Bro, the thing is with Randall, I think we have these conversations. To me, they're mad bizarre because we don't look at things. We don't look at everything. We just look at this one thing. Randall made me mad, and I'll never forgive him. So every chance I get, I'm just going to talk shit about him. That's what it feel like to me.
I
But
don't know why people are like that.
Mikal Bridges for a 2-year stretch was the franchise player for a team in New York, and that team couldn't have an impact. He couldn't get that team to the playoffs. I saw Julius Randle with a worse roster get his team to the playoffs. Right? OG Anunoby legit saw his replacement come in the door, play for 2 years, and now OG Anunoby is a Knick. And we're saying trade Randall so those two guys can fill in Randall's spot because they may do similar production or better. That's what I'm saying. Like when I'm talking to like the hoop heads of it all, right? I'm like, yo, why are we just talking about what we could get for Randall? Right? The basketball part of it is Randall came to New York when the Knicks were trash. It took them 2 years to get a bunch of nobodies to the playoffs. Right? They had a bad injury season, right? The 2022-2023 season. It was a bad season. Everybody injured. Kemba injured. Derrick Rose injured. Remember, Derrick Rose left before Christmas, and he didn't return. Right? And we were depending on Derrick Rose and Kemba Walker at point guard with Julius Randle, and we were mad because we missed the playoffs that 1 year. But mind you, during that 1 year, the Knicks started a backcourt of Damian Dotson and Quentin Grimes. But we're talking about Randall, right? When I'm ultimately what I'm saying is I'm not knocking OG Anunoby because he's a great player for what he is, and Mikal Bridges is a great player for what he is. But these guys are not Julius Randle, bro. I find it amazing that we're talking about keeping those two dudes, and Randall has accomplished more by himself than everybody else on the roster combined. But Randall is the one we're like, yeah, we could probably get such and such for Randall. Bro, if Anthony Davis becomes available, we might be able to ship out Randall for, LA drafted him.
I haven't been putting them.
Boggles my mind, bro.
I think people want to trade Randall just to trade him and not even think about the repercussions of just trading him for absolutely nothing. So, like that's not realistic, and it's not smart, and it's terrible asset management. The thing that kind of gets like lost in the shuffle, like that narrative that you were mentioning, it's the same narrative that's used against Brandon Ingram, but it's like Brandon Ingram is also like 27.
Right.
So it's even weirder how he's viewed so lowly. But when you think about it in this particular point of view, it's like you can't plug in Brandon Ingram and get high impact on every single team in the league. It's not easy to do. And then when you're paying him X figure, it's even more restrictive.
Right.
That's how teams are viewing it now. That's how organizations are viewing it now. It's like yes, Freezy, you named these situations and scenarios where Randall struggled because of terrible teams put around him.
Right.
If you put Randall on a max contract, hypothetically speaking, if you put Randall on a $60 million contract, you're not going to have the ability to put around guys that make Randall's life easier. It's going to
Right.
be harder to do that.
Right. That makes sense.
So when you do that, it
He
also
knows that
limits.
too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So when you do that, it puts him in a mind because you're also like depreciating his skill set while also not making him look good. And then now you're not even getting max player value because you already just hurt him in that process. It's one of those things where I say where teams are like, oh, we got McHale and OG and they're better than Randall. It's not that they're better than Randall. It's that their game is just easily pliable to basically any type of scenario you want. Whereas if you put Randall, you can't put Randall on any team and they're gonna make the playoffs. Like,
I actually saw that happen though.
yeah, Freezy, and then you saw it not happen right after that.
Right, because of injuries.
No, because no, that team was
What?
trash. The team before was trash, and the team after was trash.
No, I'm saying no, but I'm saying even the ass that was on the roster was hurt. Right. That's all I'm saying is the 2022-23 season needs a mulligan. Like I legit, even though the Knicks made the playoffs 3 out of 4 seasons, right, for the first time in forever, I think that 1 year they missed it deserves a mulligan. Right. It's bro.
But what do you do it for? Just to make the playoffs or to win a championship?
But that team wasn't gonna make the championship,
Oh,
though. Dre.
of course not. But then when you put Julius Randle on a max contract, you're basically forcing your team to put guys that are not going to be around there to make Julius Randle a championship type player.
I think that's where we're backing.
When I say max contract, I mean that Jokic 70 million, not the 45.
No, but no. What I'm saying to you, I'm following. I'm tracking the conversation. What I'm saying is I think that is where we may be backing the wrong car out of the garage. Like nobody on the panel said Julius Randle deserves the max. Like nobody said that. No, what we're saying, what the point that we were speaking to is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he did say he should play to his value.
Well, okay.
I said if it was for his accomplishments, he should get a max contract. I think the Knicks. I think it's purely about money. I think the Knicks and Randall are going to come to an agreement. I think it's just the number is just a disagreement. I think they'll steal it from another place to get it. If Mitch got to go to make it happen, I think they'll make Mitch go.
Well, let me say on the original point that I want to jump in on the point where I started talking. I jumped in on Julius Randle doesn't have value around the NBA like he does for the Knicks.
Okay,
that's the part that I was speaking to, not that part that you were speaking to. And in my mind, when I speak to the Lakers dudes, bro, when I talk to them, they're like, bro, we ain't giving y'all Anthony Davis for Randall straight up. Y'all got to give us something else. And bro, and in my mind, if they're thinking that Julius Randle and Anthony Davis can be swapped in a trade somehow, they value Randle at a certain level. Right, because you're not going to you're not going to say, yo, Anthony Davis for Josh Giddey. You know, Anthony Davis is from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? You ain't get ready. Nah, you're not getting ready to do those type of things. That the value has to at least be in the same stratosphere. And also the thing with Randall is Julius Randle has proven since day one as a Knick that he is a Swiss Army knife. Julius Randle on the basketball court can do whatever he wants to do as an NBA player. You need double-digit rebounds, he can be that. You need over 5 assists a game, he can be that. You need him to shoot 40% from 3, he can do that. You need for him to make the All-Star team and carry a team, he can do that. You need for him to be all NBA, he can do that. Like he legit morphs. He's our Debo Samuel, basically. Like he can do a lot of stuff at a high level, but it doesn't go. It isn't appreciated because Debo Samuel is on the same offense as Christian McCaffrey.
Hey, Freezy. He also led the Knicks with a starting lineup that had Reggie Bullock, Nerlens Noel, Elfrid Payton, and a rookie RJ Barrett at the 4 seed. How soon we forget, huh?
Coach,
If David Fizdale was the coach,
if you ever talk to me like that again, bro, I ain't gonna never say another word to
Hey,
you, bro.
Freezy, if David Fizdale was the coach, how many games do we win that year?
Coach named that lineup, bro. He forgot that Alec Burks and Taj Gibson were in the rotation on that team, and Derrick Rose and Frank Ntilikina.
Freezy, if David Fizdale was still the coach that year,
Elfrid Payton.
how many games do we win?
Which year? With
year
Randall?
The year we went to the 4 seed.
I think we win 24 games. But and the reason why I say that, and the reason why I say that is because if you thought that
Randall
roster that Coach
match
mentioned
made
was
in heaven.
trash, if you thought that roster was trash, think about the roster the year before that roster. Right? If David Fizdale was here, we'd still have Wayne Ellington. We wouldn't even have, bro.
The Knicks won 21 games year before that.
I'm reading in the chat. Yo, otherwise, I am not saying Randall is not better than them guys. I did not say that. I did not say that whatsoever. Randall is absolutely a better basketball player than them guys. The caveat is those guys have a more portable game, so you can just throw them like anywhere. It'll be whatever. You're gonna get baseline production out of them, and to a lesser extent, you get baseline production out of Randall. But other teams in the league don't view him that way, unfortunately.
Drake,
And
that's what I'm saying.
the
How do you
thing
know
that's
that?
getting lost in
You
this,
keep
Freezy,
saying that, but everybody I talk to says the
Did you do a
opposite.
poll?
says the opposite, that you have to give up more to match with our star. Yeah, that's of course.
No.
Yeah, you
Other
have to give
teams,
up more than just Randall to match up with Anthony Davis.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the point that you said that they don't view Randall as that valuable. That one spot right there.
I could give you how many takes where every fan base disrespects Randall or disregards his skill set and what he's done in the league. And they just say, oh, it's just counting stats. I don't view it that way. But there's definitely way more people that disrespect his game than love it.
Do we not do that right here with Karl Anthony Towns?
Yeah, we do it right here. But I'm saying there's way more people that disrespect his game than love it, unfortunately. Outside of the Knicks scope. Like, people disrespect his game all the time.
It's easy to hate the Knicks, just like it's easy to hate Dallas Cowboys. It's easy to hate.
People disrespect that man game like it's not 25 and 10.
If you're a Jets fan, of course you think the Patriots are a fluke. But you know what the Patriots have that the Jets don't have?
Cheaters?
Championships.
Oh, I thought it was the other C word.
Oh, okay.
But right now, they got the second worst team in the league.
Right. Yeah, man. Bro, I talked to the homies in Charlotte right now. Charlotte right now is looking for an all-world power forward, bro. Bro, if we had I don't know what y'all talk about, bro. If we had Randall right now, this is their words. If we had Randall, this is what they're saying.
Hey, I'll take LaMelo from them if they want him that bad.
Freezy, bro. How many?
If they want him that bad, send LaMelo.
How many teams in the league?
Yep.
Are a Randall away from the conference final?
Say that again, Coach.
How many teams in the league are Julius Randle away from the conference finals?
But a salary cap exists, so you can't just plug him in there for a vet minimum.
But okay,
how many teams are a $50 million?
They're gonna have to give up something to get him.
Yeah, of course. But
I'm lost. I'm lost because we were talking about talent. Now we're talking about his contract. Less
yeah,
than $30
yeah.
million.
but this is the reality that we live in, Freezy. You can't acquire the talent without the money.
So value is the talent, his resume, and his contract.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
So Randall makes less than $30 million. Is that not a value contract in today's NBA?
No, but the issue is
He wants to make more.
he wants more than that.
You guys are just pooing on my little question.
Yeah, I think we searching, bro. I think we
No,
grabbing that.
no. I'm not saying Randall on a lot of teams will
Y'all hate
just
Randall.
make teams just stacked and like abusive to other teams around
I'm
the
not
league.
saying he gets inserted on a team as a free agent for nothing. I'm just saying, you're looking too
But you
much
got to
into it.
give something.
I'm saying how many teams in the league are Randall away from being in the conference final?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Swap.
Orlando.
Yeah.
Orlando.
Swap who? I'm sorry. Swap
Swap
who?
who off of Orlando though?
Who? I'm sorry.
I said Orlando. You put him on Orlando. Orlando's in the conference finals.
They might be
No.
there without him
Nah.
eventually. Not this year.
But Banchero at the 3 instead of
No.
the 4.
No.
Banchero's best position is the 4.
Yeah.
Banchero's going to be a supercharged version of Randall eventually.
Yeah. Banchero's a 4, bro. Nah, we can't do. I thought you were saying Banchero at the 5, and then I'd have still said no. No.
I know, but like,
but when you talk about it, you gotta. Randall is at his best when you give him the ball and let him be his best. If you plug Randall on a team and ask him to just be a spacing big, he's not gonna be great at that.
Why not?
Right.
Because he's just not a great shooter.
Neither is Jalen Duren.
No, he doesn't have to only do that, but he can do
Jalen
that
Duren
as well.
Yeah. Neither is another 6'9", 250 guy.
Jalen Duren is not. I mean, I understand the point you're making, Freezy. I understand it, but
he's not there. He's not.
He's not that.
What about
Right.
Dallas?
That's what I'm saying. It's yeah. Right. It's like saying, I honestly, it sounds like Randall slander to me.
I'll put it this way, Freezy. Do you think if you drop Randall on another team, he'd look like 2017 or 2015 Kevin Love, where he had to turn into a low usage, extremely efficient shooter and rebounder? His skill set says that he's not this efficient shooter.
I think he's better than Kevin Love.
Oh no, he can be better than Kevin Love. But
I'm saying Kevin Love at his peak is not Julius Randle at his peak.
Well, why?
Kevin Love in his peak
Why do
was
you
26
keep
and
making
13
him change
before
his game? Every team he goes on, he's gonna be him.
Yeah.
Why do you think he has to change things?
No. It's about his game being additive to players that are better than him, not being Julius Randle. Like Julius Randle being Julius Randle isn't necessarily an additive to a guy. Like, for instance, if they had two high volume on ball players like LeBron and Kyrie, Julius Randle would have to be in this role where he has to be a spacer, very efficient on his touches, and basically not step on the toes of the two better higher volume players. And I don't think that's his game, which is fine.
What if you put Jalen Brunson in that same scenario? Then what?
Jalen Brunson is an elite off the ball shooter.
Right.
Period.
So he'd have to be just like what you said. Very
no. Jalen Brunson is that already.
Right.
Julius Randle is not that.
Right. But if Jalen Brunson was in that scenario, he'd have to be a very efficient shooter on his spot up threes because he wouldn't get a lot of them. Right. He's not going to take shots away from LeBron, and he's not going to take shots away from Kyrie. So he'd have to be that third guy.
He's done that before.
Right. Where
I haven't seen Randle be the third.
Where's
Jalen
Brunson been the third? Where's Jalen Brunson been the third guy?
He's been the third guy when he was coming off the
Dallas.
bench with the Mavericks. He wasn't even number 2 going into that playoff run. He turned into the number 2.
Right. He actually turned into the number 1 in that stretch where
In
Luca
that
came
well,
back.
in that one series, but I'm talking about going into the playoffs, he turned into the number 2. Then he turned into the number 1, and then he remained the number 2 throughout. But during that season, he wasn't even the number 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he thrived at being extremely efficient off catch and shoots and limited attempts. Like, he was an efficient player on any usage, low usage or high usage. He was efficient.
I mean,
And that's not even a gripe. Like, what makes Randall great is very special. It's just unfortunate that you have to view it in this lens because the game has become such a numbers thing, and it's a numbers thing when it comes to shooting percentages, or a numbers thing when it comes to contract and fitting a guy in. It's just awkward, and a lot of teams don't value because you have to acquiesce to Randall's skill set, hypothetically speaking. But Randall has shown the ability to change it.
What skill set is that though?
I'm just you're confusing the hell out of me. Like, he's got this limited skill set.
No. His skill set is he can be a creator, a high volume one at that, as a big or jumbo wing. But teams around the league see that, oh, there's a cap on his ceiling because he's not Jokic. Because the way he does it, he's not Jokic.
How many
Hypothetically
fours
speaking.
in the league have his skill set? With
There-
size,
If you
ability,
put his counting numbers,
skills.
it's literally right next to Giannis and Jokic and all these, and Anthony Davis and
Then what are we
Embiid. Like,
talking about?
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand the conversation.
Then why are we wasting our? I'm not saying us here on the panel. Why are we as a universe and a fan base entertaining this dumb crap?
because unfortunately,
Personality.
no, unfortunately, money means things in terms of building teams.
He
That's
makes the right money too.
right for now.
But we're talking about right now, Dre.
But we were talking about an extension. And if we're talking about an extension, we're talking about the future at that point. Wasn't a conversation about an extension?
He's worth it.
If Randall made $30 million for the next 5 years, sign me up. Matter of fact, if he made $30 million for the next 6 years, every team in the league would take him. But he's not gonna make that.
Neither is any all-star in the NBA,
so
bro.
you're saying he should get the same pay as
Well,
Hartenstein and IQ?
no.
Bro,
Well,
he
Hartenstein,
makes a half a mil more than Isaiah Hartenstein, bro.
He makes
For now.
He makes less than IQ.
For
Bro, the
now.
dude makes less than Emmanuel quickly.
But that's 1 year overlap. Well, we could say Emmanuel quickly makes more than Jalen Brunson this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I'm saying
Actually,
is,
Isaiah Hartenstein makes more than Jalen Brunson
Right.
this year and next year.
Right.
exactly, Drew. He's Blue Drew says Randall's not good because he's not prime Hakeem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like saying Randall has diminished value because he doesn't have Jokic's ceiling.
This is the thing that's not being like understood, or I'm not getting through. There's a sweet spot to his production and pay. That's where teams are so finicky about it, because it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing that Brandon Ingram is going through. Like, coach, would you give Brandon Ingram a max contract?
On the Pelicans, yeah.
Why aren't the Pelicans giving him it?
Who else do they have to pay?
No, I want to pay Julius Randle. I would give him the extension right now, but Julius wants more than that from the looks of it.
But the
We don't even know what we offering him.
How close are the Pelicans to the conference finals?
If healthy, they can compete with anybody right now. If healthy. in the West, in my
Then
mind.
he's worth the max.
Okay.
But they don't have a starting center or a backup center right now. And it's about competing year in and year out, not competing 1 year. You don't pay a guy a max to compete for 1 year. You pay a max to make you stay in contention for several years.
That's what we were
That's the
building.
idea, anyway.
So what I'm saying is, anyone that we're gonna get that's equal or better than Randall's ability, skill set,
Randall's a steal, by the way.
yeah, we're gonna have to pay max that player.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I think they're trying to make this max contract thing an exclusive club. That's what the CBA is designed to do, anyway.
Oh,
The CBA is designed to stop you from loading up on superstar talent. Say thank you to CJ McCollum because he got tired of getting his ass whooped by the Warriors with all their taxes and paying two superstars. So he made it so that it's harder to build a team now with this current CBA with overwhelming talent, making what they should be making. So now when you see this happen to the market, you see guys like Trey Jones, or is it Trey Jones? Is Trey Jones
Tyus?
playing? Is it Ty? Yeah, Tyus Jones playing on a vet minimum because he ruined the middle class of the league because he got mad that superstars got getting paid like superstars playing together. The whole KD Warriors thing is the reason why the CBA is the way it is right now, and the reason why it's so punitive to pay guys a max, even though Brandon Ingram would have gotten a max under the exact same circumstances 3 years ago.
I slightly disagree with the CJ point. I think there is something to it. But if I may add some croutons to the salad, right?
I like croutons.
I think, yeah, bro, crouton, bro, the black chewy ones from Ruby Tuesday, bro. I think they pumpernickel or whatever they are. But shit.
oh, the brown ones.
Yeah, bro, what? But I think the reason why the stance was taken is because KD and them found that loophole to walk the dog.
Yep.
Right? That every 2 years we're gonna have the same conversation thing is I think the reason why we're here.
Yep.
Because it's not fair. It's not fair. Because think about it. If you're a rookie free agent, right? I mean, I'm sorry, if you're a rookie draft pick, right? You know your clock is 4 years. Well, 2 years. Well, the night you get drafted, KD gets an extension. Then 2 years into that, KD gets an extension. And then by the time you start your free agent stuff, restricted or otherwise, guess what KD gets? Another damn extension. Right? Now, is that KD's fault? No. But how about the guys that played out their first 4 or 5 years with the team? How was that fair to them? Coach, think about it. On draft night, KD extension talks. 2 years into your career, KD extension talks. And then when you become a free agent, guess who's getting another extension? Kevin Durant. Right? And they're constantly driving up and drying out the money pool that's available. Right? I think that's the reason why the CBA looks the way it does, because cats have been walking the dog. And can you blame them? No. Because if you're a generational talent like Giannis or a generational talent like KD, who cares about all-stars? Like, your name is going to go down in the history of the greatest dudes to ever play. So why do I care about Tyrese Halliburton? I shouldn't.
The NBA is going to start looking like how the NFL rosters want to happen. You pay this core of about 4 or 5 guys a whole bunch of money.
Right.
And then you just hope you got a bunch of young dudes on their first contract that can contribute. Like Boston this year.
Right.
And whatever we get with our extensions or whatever, we need to enjoy this right now. Because the way it's set up right now, we can't afford to pay all these guys.
Nah. Hey, Coach, and guess what we're going to be talking about next summer? Guess what we're going to be talking about next summer, Coach? Just take a wild guess. Next summer, we're going to be talking about a Jaylen Brown extension.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you like, bro, didn't you just sign?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it'll be, if I had to count, 2 summers from now.
Okay.
2, 3, no 3, because he signed a full 4-year extension.
He signed a 5-year extension?
4. It was a 4-year extension.
But he signed it.
No, there was a full 5-year extension, but the last year is probably a player option, if I had to guess.
I'm talking about when he signed the extension, though. When he signed it in 2022, right?
Last season. Last
2023. So in 2025, he can start talking about whatever it is again.
Yeah.
See, that's next summer. That's what I'm saying.
2026. It's 2026.
Okay.
2026. But it's still, that's a mind-boggling amount of money.
Right. Right. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying about the extension things and all of that stuff, bro. I think with the Knicks, as a Knicks fan, I know we have caviar wishes and champagne dreams, right? But we used to be the beer crowd. And all of a sudden, when we get to thinking about championships, now we're thinking about who we can discard.
On a Busch Light budget.
Right. Now we're thinking about who we can discard. We're only 5 years removed from Noah Vonleh. I mean, what are we talking about?
I'm looking at his contract, Freezy. He won't be. There's no buyouts. I mean, there's no player option. He can talk extension after the 26-27 season.
Okay.
When he has 2 years left, and then he can extend off of those 2 years.
The 2 years left part is the part that I was trying to get to.
Yeah, after 26-27, he has 2 years left in 27-28, which is $61 million, and 28-29, which is $64 million. When you get to 2 years left, you can extend.
That's the part that I was talking about.
Yeah, which is 26-20. Well, the off season of 26-27. So 3 years from now.
That's crazy, bro.
When he's 30.
That's crazy.
It's a nutty contract.
And honestly, where I think that the new CBA is headed is buyout and buyback years. I think that's where we're headed. Right, Coach. You remember how the NBA salary cap went to transitioning the guaranteed bonuses on a certain day? I'm sorry, guaranteed salary and roster bonuses on a certain day wound up being converted to NFL salary. Remember that with Tony Romo? When Tony Romo signed his huge contract and their CBA wound up converting guaranteed roster bonuses. Like if you're on a roster such and such day, you get $40 million the way they scheduled your bonus. And then they figured out a way to convert that to salary. I think that's where we're headed in the NBA. I think we're absolutely headed that way. Basically to non-guaranteed bonus salary structure. I think that's where we're headed. Because of at some point, now that you've gotten away from walking a dog, and these owners are going to have to pay these exorbitant tax bills, I think the owners are not going to stomach that in the next CBA. I think they're going to walk that thing back towards a you know what I'm saying? Let owners pay whatever they want to pay. The cheap owners. When it comes to billionaire owners, why does a billionaire owner need an assistant? That's what the CBA is an assistant to billionaire owners. Why do billionaire owners need some type of help? Right? I think we're gonna walk back away from that. So by the time, whatever.
I'll say this, that the NBA PA is not like the NFL PA, at least.
Right. Yeah.
They I don't think they'll claw and scratch to make sure their guarantees are straight. They'll give up everything else but guaranteed money. They'll give up
Right.
everything else but guaranteed money.
Right.
I mean, that's straight up why the lockouts happened.
Yep.
Why every single lockout happened. Whereas the NFL, them cats can't manage their money, so they cave quick, man.
Right.
they, they cave quick over there.
And them dudes, they don't make nothing compared to NBA guys.
No, man. Considering how much money the NFL generates, man.
I mean, the only thing is that, I mean, you're talking
54 players, 55
yeah,
players.
53 players on each
But
team.
if you're looking at their
Yeah,
actual
practice
salary
squad.
cap, their salary cap is damn near proportionate to the actual NBA salary cap.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it's proportionate. It's pretty proportionate to the actual amounts of salaries that they do have or amount of players,
Right.
and they're still underpaying them cats.
But the disproportionate is the QBs. Them dudes.
There's no such thing as a max over there. They could just give guys whatever the hell
Right.
they want.
Like,
Right.
like for the Bucks, they just signed worse, Tristan Wirfs.
Oh, he deserved every penny.
Oh yeah, he's good though.
Oh, yeah. And Antoine Winfield, both of them are the highest paid at their position.
Tristan
Yeah.
Wirfs the highest paid Buck ever.
Yeah.
And the thing is about that, the reason why the Bucks can afford that is they got about 8 to 10 first and second year players that balled out last year.
Yep.
So they can afford to do that.
It's Freezy. It's the approach that's going on in the NBA now. You get these rookie contracts or guys like Deuce not making nothing, giving you some production.
Right.
Second rounders
Mhm.
giving you production for absolutely nothing,
Yep.
while you pay your guys all that big money.
I mean,
Right.
think about how many dead contracts are out there right now. Like guys getting paid all this money for nothing
Right.
in the NBA right now.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, what's his name? Just stealing money.
It's the reason. It's the reason why I think the NBA is gonna expand in the next 3 years, bro.
Excuse me.
Because Brandon Ingram should be a top 2 player on some franchise, but you don't have enough franchises to go around.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and
Yep.
some franchises' second best player, i.e., Brandon Miller, is nowhere near being as good as Brandon Ingram today. Will he be in the future? Of course, he'll be better than Brandon Ingram. But right now, nah. San Antonio, second best player, we don't even know who he is.
Chris Paul.
Ugh. I almost vomited just on the.
It's that two guard that they got. I forgot his name. 6'8", 6'7".
Now
Can
you know
shoot.
they have Harrison Barnes also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
Oh,
that
yeah,
two guard that they have. What's his name?
Devin Vassell.
Yeah, it's Vassell. He's their second best player.
Yeah, Jeremy Sohan.
Oh no.
Sochan.
Yeah.
Nah, it's got to be
I
Devin.
like
Vassell.
him. I like his game.
Hey, man, but Stephon Castle's coming though.
Yeah.
A year or two under Chris Paul. Oh God.
He gonna be SGA, bro.
Oh my God, man. A year under Chris Paul, Freezy. You mean like a year that SGA got into Chris Paul?
Yeah. Like that year Tyson Chandler got with Chris Paul.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like that year DeAndre Jordan got with Chris Paul when Blake Griffin was out with the knee injury. Remember that Blake Griffin broke his knee in training camp and was out for the year.
Yep.
Had that pseudo rookie year.
Yep. The
Yeah.
fake rookie year.
Yeah. Coach, I got one more question, man, before I get out of here.
Yeah.
What type of defense do you think Tom Thibodeau is gonna run with this disproportionate amount of elite wing players.
I mean, how much do you think he changes it up? What he's been doing?
Me? Are you shifting the question back to me?
I mean, I don't think he's going to change it too much. I think it's already set, and I just think we're going to be doing it better. I think there's going to be a little less switching, handing
Less?
off.
I don't know. You don't get McCall to switch less.
No, I mean handing off to somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I'll be real with you. I know you asked coach that, but I think we're gonna see a lot more small lineups. You're gonna see a lot more small lineups. Not because Mitch might be getting hurt or whatever, but the versatility. You don't get McCall and OG to play them at the 2 and the 3 all the time.
Yeah.
You don't get those. You don't get those guys. They're playing up in their skill set. They're really guys that play big. They're really McCall play guards 3s, OG guards 4s and 5s at times.
Yeah.
Like you don't get that versatility to not use it. And I don't think it's a secret that we got them. We're gonna be playing a lot more small lineups. You're gonna see Randle at the 5, five on offense, and on defense, OG's at the 5.
Right.
Like
Right.
you gonna see that. You gonna see Precious out there, and I think Precious playing is basically playing small ball anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you gonna see a lot more switching defenses, especially when Brunson's not out there. Basically, anytime Brunson's not out there, you're gonna see a
I
more
mean, do you mean
switch heavy
like
defense.
combo D, like switching from man to man to
Like anytime a
zone,
team runs a
stuff like
pick and
that?
roll, we switching that no matter what.
Mhm.
You set a rub screen, you setting a pin down, we switching that. You're
Right.
not getting no back doors, you ain't getting no cuts, you probably not gonna get no lobs
Right.
because everybody can guard.
Right.
Well, I'm thinking if when Mitch is in there, and on who we play, it's almost going to be like a little bit of a diamond in one or like a matchup zone kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, we're gonna be like what we've been doing, like as far as like funneling guys into Mitch. That's gonna be a thing. But Mitch has never played more than 25 minutes per game. There's a whole lot more basketball left with Mitch not on the court. And we didn't get a traditional big to replace him.
but when I say it's not really a diamond in one. It's like an opposite where it's flipped. Because a diamond in one is one guy getting covered and everyone else is up.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be 4 guys. I
The
think
only
there's gonna be a more ball denying.
the only way I push back on like a zone concept of defense, Tibbs has never done it. No matter who's out there. We've seen more zone or exotic zones against us by virtually every basketball team, and you have
Yeah.
never seen Tibbs be like, yo, run a 2-3. I haven't seen a 2-3 zone since Fizdale was here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen any kind of zone, a 3-2, a boxing one. I ain't seen none of that since Tibbs got here. Tibbs is all about
Indiana ran it the entire series. They would blitz and the away coverage would be zone.
yeah,
Yeah, remember that? Remember that?
just
They
hovering,
would
just
blitz to
hovering.
force the ball to one side of the floor, and then the opposite side of the floor would be 2 guys guarding 4 guys, basically.
Yeah, it was like we don't see that from Tibbs because Tibbs is all about fighting over screens or
Right.
switching on screens. He's never about having this laissez-faire attitude about like, yo, we gonna let you get the ball screen, but we're gonna zone up and block you from his driving lane. Nah, for Tibbs is about you better chase him off that line
Yeah.
and stick on him. And if you're not chasing him, it's probably because you have somebody that switched and took your assignment for you.
Right.
Like I understand like the concept that you're saying, like like a zone kind of hybrid type defense where it's like Mitch is hovering around protecting the rim and we
Right.
funnel guys into him. But that's still well within the concepts of man to man
Right,
defense.
because there's no more illegal defense in that sense
Yeah.
where you don't have to be
He's still in the
deep.
general he's still in the general vicinity of his man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We just might have the defenders that have the physicality to push guys into Mitch.
And that low man replacement could be anybody. Like if
Yep.
there's a jump shooting big, say Wambiana or Porzingis, that pulls Mitch towards the top of the key, you still have Randall, OG, or Mikal Bridges as your low man. And I know they're not gonna bump cutters because these dudes are these dudes ain't that physical. Mitch is physical. Like
They gonna
Randall
bump
ain't bumping
cutters in the
cutters.
playoffs, but not in the regular
Bro,
season.
these dudes ain't trying to risk jamming their fingers, and these dudes like scoring, bro. Coach, it's like coach. It's like when you watch O linemen nowadays compared to offensive linemen 40 years ago, bro. These offensive linemen drive these fancy little cars, bro. These dudes are like, bro. Did you see the transformation of Jared Valdir? Did you see him? You know who I'm talking about? Used to play for the Raiders. Used to play for the Bucks.
Yeah.
Bro, that dude right now, you remember back in the day, he was like 6'7", 230, right? Right now, that dude is like 6'7", 235. Doing fitness videos on TikTok, bro.
I never. It's funny when you see like ex linemen when they retire.
Lose weight.
Yeah, ex linemen when they retire, they
Their
either
running
get
backs
big as
get
a
fat.
house. They
Yeah.
either get big as a house or they just get
Like
extremely skinny.
Damian Woody.
Or Pouncey. Remember Pouncey?
Yeah.
Marcus
Yeah,
Pouncey? And then
Yeah.
you don't like it takes a lot of food to be at that weight.
Same with what's his name? Thomas from Browns. He also had weight too.
It's like, yeah, that. No, I was gonna say Andrew Thomas, not Andrew Thomas, but
I forget his name.
nah, that's a different guy. But I was gonna say like the amount of food that they eat, like the amount of protein that they have to intake, the calories, just to
Right.
play at a high level,
Right.
to be like basically a roaming bear.
Right.
Oh well, there's not many secrets. Some of the best left tackles in the league, and most of them. I mean, there's freaks that have been big their whole life. But most of the
But to
best ones.
maintain that, bro,
Well, I'm saying most of the best ones used to be these 6'6", 6'7" tight ends when they went into
Yep.
college, and they're the least athletic tight end in the group. They're like, all right, you're gonna start gaining 40, 50
Joe Alt.
pounds.
Basically, you saying
Yeah.
Joe Alt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's good about that, they become an athletic. That's where you get
Slow
them
down.
athletic linemen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So so on the Knicks defensive thing, man, I think it's gonna be I think Tibbs is gonna go all the way in on having the number one defense in the NBA. And I think how you get there is basically by that defense that the Knicks were playing in February.
mhm.
Like right when or late January, like right after Randall got hurt, where the Knicks played a bunch of dudes where Precious Achua was like the roaming big,
Right.
that like switch, so you could switch everybody on the floor or whatever.
Mhm.
And you remember that stretch where the Knicks held teams to under 80 points a game?
Oh,
I think that's where we're headed to attempt to be that.
yeah, like we switched everything, and then the guys that were off ball, they were jumping passing lanes, they were junking up any like escape avenue away
Yeah.
from the play,
Yeah.
and then trying to find their man at the same time.
Yeah.
And now when you add a McCall who's been doing that at a high level for years,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it only just adds a little bit more seasoning to the gumbo.
Right. And what makes it work, and that one of the things I don't think people understand is we got a very tiny sample size of Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby on the floor at the same time.
Oh
I think
my
it didn't
God.
happen until the end of the season, I think, is when we, but even when that was happening, you didn't see it with Randle and Mikal Bridges because Mikal Bridges wasn't here and Randle was hurt. Right?
Freezy, I was gonna say there was a saying. It was like the Knicks come out and beat teams with a metal bat every game.
Every game, bro.
That's probably what we gonna do.
That's where I think we're going. But I wanted to get y'all insight on it to just see if I was on Bizarre Island by myself.
Man,
And y'all know about Bizarro Island. You know how like you walk around your crib and you just have a thought to yourself, like,
Yeah.
what if the Knicks hold teams to 95 points a game? It's like a bizarre thought to you, right? Because in today's NBA, even the worst teams score about 108.
Yeah.
Right? But you're like, man, what if the Knicks can hold? It's like I had a bizarre thought, Coach. What if Breece Hall is the number one running back in fantasy, even though Christian McCaffrey's the man? You see how that's a bizarre thought? Like, what would make
That's not that bizarre.
I would never draft
dude, bro.
I would never draft. He's a Mitchell Robinson situation.
No, he had one injury. He came back and dominated with
More
no
than one.
line.
He's been hurt twice.
Who, Mitch?
Breece? He's only been hurt once.
No, I'm talking about McCaffrey.
Oh, McCaffrey. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I would never draft Christian McCaffrey.
Oh.
Yeah.
Want to know why? Because the year I drafted,
he got hurt. he got PTSD from that. Coach is done.
Man. I'm like, nope.
I was gonna say, yeah, Freezy. We gonna be hitting guys with steel chairs and throwing them through tables this whole regular season.
Right. Yeah, and the thing about the table, ladders, and chairs match, the thing about taking the Dudley Boys approach is you see the Dudley Boys opponent hurt in the ring, but you don't see how hurt the Dudley Boys are backstage.
Yeah.
Right. That's one of the things where I think we may have to be careful in that approach. Right, like if we're going all out to be that physical, I think we have to be in the mindset that we have to be in a 10-man rotation, in order to do that.
Yeah,
so
I can agree with that.
Yeah, well, that's all I got, y'all, man. I'm gonna get out of here, man, and get ready to do the members only show in the morning. Coach, I'm gonna
doing that.
What time is it now? So it's almost 3:00 right now. So I got to get up in the morning and do some admin stuff, some background check stuff. So I'm gonna shoot for 9:30, but I can't say for sure that it'll be 9:30. But this is one of the things I want to talk about right here, Coach, on the members only show. Like, you know how people say that Hartenstein is a top 10 NBA center? I'm going to talk about how the Knicks can win without having a top 20 NBA center. So if you're a member, get ready for that show. It's going to be crazy how the Knicks can win an NBA championship without having a top 20 NBA center.
Hey, man, Freezy. I think Mitch is a top 15 NBA center when he plays, though.
Do you think he's better than Jalen Duren?
Yes, when he plays. But that's a big if.
He's better than Alperen Sengun?
I think Sengun is top 10.
So Rudy Gobert is not a top 10 center then.
Oh, well then. Well, did you just show a list? Because I was looking at my phone. It's very small.
Yeah, but we're you gotta look at some. I think we're overvaluing the offensive side of the ball.
Is Mitch better than Bam Adebayo?
No.
Victor Wembanyama?
No.
Nikola Jokic?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Top 10.
But you said Jalen Duren. He's better than Jalen Duren.
And I know in order to be in the top 10, you can be 10, 9, or 8. I understand that.
He's better than Isaiah
I don't think Mitch
Hartenstein.
is top 10. I think he's like top 15 when he plays.
Better than Miles Turner?
Yes.
Nah. He better than
All
Bob.
Miles Turner's good at is shooting the three,
He's a very good rim protector,
finishing
but
dunks.
he's not an individual defender, but he can protect the rim.
You don't scare me otherwise.
Is he better than Porzingis?
No,
Is he better than Chet Holmgren?
no.
I heart.
Is he better than iHeart?
When he plays, he's more impactful on defense. Well, we saw who closed out against the Sixers. I'll just put it there. Put it that way.
Is he better than Nick Claxton?
Yes. When he plays, absolutely.
Is he better than Sabonis?
No.
No, bro. Yeah, you feel me? You see where I'm going?
How
with
many
this
did you
thing?
get to? How many is that? Like 12?
Like 20. They're like 20 guys.
20?
Yeah. There are like 20 guys, and then dudes that play center part time, like Jaren Jackson.
I think you know what, the way you said it, it makes sense. But when you have an ability that Mitch has, where he is probably the number one offensive rebounding center and probably a top 5 rim protector, Tibbs is gonna do his hardest to hide what he can't do. And try
He's
to
a
make up
specialist,
for
bro.
it in the aggregate with our other 4 players.
Mitch is a specialist, bro. Mitch is a pass rusher.
Yeah, he's a specialist.
Yeah,
He's a specialist.
He's a specialist, bro. He's not a every down, like he ain't gonna fake a dribble handoff and dribble fake a guy into jumping so that he can draw the fight. He ain't great. No.
But every so often,
line back.
every so often, a pass rusher wins you games.
Every
Just
now
off
and
of the
then.
havoc,
Strip
just
sack.
off of the strip sack when you
Yeah.
needed it.
Yeah. Or on his way to the quarterback on a draw play, he forces the running back to cut the ball back into a different hole and he stuffs the run, but never even touched the running back.
Yeah,
It happens.
he's a deterrent.
Javon Curse. Remember that, coach? Remember that? Yeah. He forced Edgerrin James back. Yeah, bro, that man got the credit for a 2-yard loss. He never even touched Edgerrin James, bro. You remember the freak Javon Curse from Florida?
Played for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
He went to North Fort Myers High School.
Yeah.
He
like the dude.
I coached that.
I'm sorry.
I'm saying I coached at the school he went to.
Ooh.
Oh,
I know all them.
Okay.
So he has his jersey retired there, probably.
Yeah, you know who else went there? Dion.
Okay.
So actual.
He acting like Florida got
freaks.
football. Florida don't have football players like South Carolina, bro.
All the Watkins are from around here.
Yeah.
Hey, Freezy talking about that
Edgerrin
geeky
James
athleticism.
from Immokalee. He's from around here.
Yeah, bro. When you talk about high school football, bro, you got to start your conversation with South Carolina, bro. South Carolina have all the best athletes.
It's that geeky athleticism, Freezy.
Geechee, yeah. or is that beach life? Like, well, I mean, it's that salt water. Is that soft water? Florida is all right when it comes to high school athletes, bro. They all right, right? But they ain't South Carolina, bro. Like, they not legit pumping out
basketball and football.
Yeah, they ain't pumping out elite athletes. Like, they don't do that no more. Florida done got bougie.
Come on.
Like, anytime Miami and Florida State can't dominate in football, bro, dudes is just,
Andre Campbell, who's from around here.
Oh, okay.
J.C. Jackson.
Who's the most athletic dude in the NBA right now?
Most athletic.
Probably Ant.
Probably Ant, right? Probably.
Well,
Ant.
I mean, if you're talking like coordination and everything,
I mean, size, athleticism, combo.
Nah, any, just whatever.
Hey, man, I might say Wemby, just off of the sheer coordination to be that big and move like that.
Right.
He might not have the quick twitch explosion, but the coordination and fluidity and dexterity and touch,
right,
which plays in athleticism and like that. Yeah, like Freezer, you said you seen something like him before. That was 40 years ago, though.
Yeah.
That's how
That's how long it takes. It take every 50 years, bro. Bro, I think the most athletic player in the NBA to me is John Morant.
Yeah.
Now I know it's out of sight, out of mind, or whatever.
I mean, what he did to your son wasn't right.
My son said, "Bro, that's my son career highlight, bro." He tell ladies like that all the time. Like, yo, how many people can tell you they got dunked on by John Morant? That's like if you got dunked on by Vince Carter or something in high school. That's like a pig. Like if Vince Carter would have dunked on me in high school, I'd have been talking to the ladies like,
It's like,
"Hey, you know, I got dunked on by Vince Carter.
it's like,
He's half a man, but I'm the half amazing part."
it's like if you got dunked on by John Morant, chances are you're probably a millionaire.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, yeah. When it comes to it, man. I mean, one of the most athletic dudes in the NFL right now used to be Jadeveon Clowney, like a freak of nature type athlete. But I don't know if South Carolina produces like the 6'7", 6'8" explosive athletes that like they used to. Maybe once in a while, South Carolina produce a guy.
Oh, like Zion?
Yeah, like Zion. I guess they do. I guess they do. I guess
You
South
know
Carolina is
who
taking
I
over
think
for
is super
Florida.
athletic? I think Jalen Green is extremely athletic.
Yeah, Jalen Green.
But that gets overseen because he's Jalen Green. But every once in a while, he's jumping out the gym and go dunk on somebody.
Say what? That Thompson's free.
Oh, yeah.
Them Thompson twins is free.
Oh yeah, where they from? Sacramento?
Yeah, what?
They're from California, right?
They like half Jamaican though.
Yeah.
I had to throw that in there. But
I mean, you want to talk about just all around free physical athlete.
They remind me of like more fluid,
I'd like to know
version of Iguodala. That's what they remind me.
I'd like to know what Jericho Sims' bench is.
Jericho Sims is actually extremely athletic. We overlook that because he just don't know how to play basketball half the time.
Like he legit, as far as size, speed, explosiveness combo,
yeah,
he's one of the freaks of the NBA.
If Jericho Sims knew how to play basketball, he could be our Ben Wallace, but he just doesn't know how to play basketball.
Yeah, I think that's what the Knicks are trying to work on with him, but he just don't have the on court. Remember, it took Ben Wallace a long time, bro.
Yeah,
like
man,
Ben Wallace wasn't good until age 25.
Yeah, like Ben Wallace's first highlight was getting dunked on by Kobe in the summer league.
Yeah. Oh, I
and
thought
that
you
was
was gonna say that.
96.
I thought you was gonna say that.
90.
Was it 96?
Yep, Kobe's first summer league was in 96.
Ben Wallace was undrafted in 96.
Yep, and the first time Kobe caught a poster, it was on Ben Wallace.
Wow.
And he turned into a reason that Kobe didn't have a championship in 8 years later.
8 years later, yeah. Ben Wallace was a late bloomer, coach. Kind of like.
Ain't he from South Carolina, Freezy?
Ben Wallace?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Believe he's from that area.
I was from Virginia.
Oh, he's from Virginia?
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe. I know he went to Virginia Union.
So did Charles Oakley.
Remember Philip Buchanan?
Yeah, cornerback from the U. Yeah.
He's from around here. The Grammaticas.
Yeah, he's from Whitehall, Alabama.
Oh.
Yeah,
Who?
Whitehall, Alabama.
Ben Wallace?
Yeah.
He looks like the type of guy for Alabama. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. South Carolina. I think Florida probably has a pipeline because they have so many, because their population is so great. They have so many athletes, but when it comes to like that top 1% athlete, like AJ Green's from South Carolina, right? Or a Roddy White, or guys like that. I think South Carolina maybe. But when you talk about like skilled basketball players, I think the state of North Carolina probably has the most John Wall type, Michael Jordan type. And I know Joe was born in Brooklyn, but he lived in where did he live in? Coach, where's he from in Brooklyn? Coney Island? I think they lived in Brooklyn for like a year and then he moved to Wilmington. Hoodie Cab said he broke Coach Hoodie Cab said he broke Michael Jordan high school scoring record. Then when I looked it up, Hoodie Cab wasn't even in the top 1,000. Yeah, but anyways, that's all I got, man. I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. Thank you everybody for watching and hanging out with us. We're gonna get out of here. We'll see the members 9 something ish. Peace, everybody.
Peace.